thought I'd do a quick video as proof of life, or basically just saying like I'm still here. A lot has been happening, a lot of stuff with the VA. Um, I have my birthday's next week, my 40th. Like every year I get it's like Walmart, but there's like these little ice cream cakes that are like individual ones that are like really cheap. They're less than like $3 each. So usually myself and the boys will go and we'll each pick out our own. And we do that for every birthday for each of us. But this year I'm like, I'm turning 40. That's kind of a big deal. Just a little bit. So I'm gonna get one of the bigger ice cream cakes. Not like huge or anything, but like it's gonna be one of the crunch ice cream cakes, and it's going to be the chocolate one because we've all unanimously decided. Because I was like, okay, which one of all out of all of these are we going to get? And they're like, chocolate. They said it like almost instantly. I was like, yes, because chocolate is my favorite. I do love strawberry and the strawberry shortcake kind of ice cream one, but chocolate, just chocolate, just milk chocolate's the best for me. So yeah, gonna do that. This Saturday, I will take them to a local comic book shop. And I have a set amount of, money of funds that they both get to pick out one gift for Mother's Day and one gift for a birthday. And they do this every year. I do this with them every year because they only have as much money or allowance as I actually can give them whenever I do happen to have like leftover like cash or something. Recently uh I found a piggy bank that had a whole bunch, like a ton of money in it. And I was like, oh, wow. Because I went and finally got all my stuff out of storage from far away. Long story short, basically, the movers like stole my stuff and then tried to like hold it hostage to get me to pay more money than I originally agreed with them. And yeah, so that was a whole thing. So I got them, like, I had to go through a business lawyer and got them to drop the issue, but then I had to keep paying to have my stuff stay at that storage facility until I could actually go and get the stuff. I got like half of it years ago. Finally got the rest of it. So finally have all that stuff in a storage place that's close by me. So I can slowly and methodically go through everything. And I've already donated so much. And I'm going to be donating more. But anyway, found that. Um, and so then they both like use that money to buy whatever at like Walmart or something or some other store. Um, but yeah, every year I get like a bag that's not see-through and hand it to them. Now, because it's a comic book shop, I do have to tell them to be careful. So I am going to ask like one of the people that works there. Like I think there's like two or three guys there that we don't go there often because I can't afford to. But from the times I do go there, um, there's at least two or three guys there. So I'm going to ask at least one of them, like, hey, can you help them pick out within this budget a couple items? One's going to be my birthday gift, and one's going to be my Mother's Day gift. Because my birthday is usually around Mother's Day. I mean, yeah. So, uh, and then let them know the things that I like, which I do like a lot of different things, but yeah, within a budget. So, and the boys will pick out whatever it is that they think I'll like that's within the range of things that I enjoy, which they've picked out like Star Wars stuff and Deadpool stuff in the past, which is, really great. So, I also really love rubber duckies. Like I collect almost every different type of rubber ducky. I'm not even kidding. So they've gotten like specialty looking rubber duckies before. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, so and Nightmare Before Christmas, they got me some Nightmare Before Christmas stuff before. I really love Harley Quinn. So yeah, so they've like picked things out around the time, like the area of like things that I enjoy. So we'll do that. But yeah, I just wanted to do I'm alive thing. Now the VA stuff I've been dealing with, and now I did go to physical therapy for my ankle. Well, technically both my ankles and feet because they're both really bad, more so my left side. And the physical therapy did help. It helped with like, because I was just having a bunch of pain that in some areas where they're like, this pain, it's not explainable. We don't understand why. And then it's like, oh, okay, because of the knee, because my bad knee, the one that I had surgery on in the Navy and then got progressively worse. So much so that I had a flare up that meant that I could not finish my physical therapy for my feet because I was finally able to work on the pain side of it, but I am very weak in my ankles and my feet. I'm very weak. Like I have to have new orthotic shoes. I have orthotics like the insole things that I had to get slippers for, which I had to go to the men's section to get like house slippers because like, and I went and got Crocs. I got the Buzz Lightyear Crocs because, well, I do like Buzz Lightyear, but it's like the only one that was like within my range that could fit the insole that I would have to put in because doctors at the VA are like, you need to have these insoles and be wearing this. And so even at home in like with your slippers, you have to have these insoles because you have flat feet and you really your arch is bad. It's sorry. I'm like burping and stuff, but my feet are bad, really bad right now. So they're like, okay, let's, do this. But I couldn't finish my physical therapy with that. And they're like, you need strength training next. You need to come back for physical therapy with that. And it would help if I came back for physical therapy with my shoulder. Because even though there's like hardly any pain, there's still not much strength. My mobility is much better with my shoulder, my bad shoulder, but the strength is really bad. So it's like, okay, we've addressed the pain part. Now we need strength training. Cannot do the strength training with my feet. So yeah. So it's because of my knee. So I went and got an MRI to see like an x-ray and then MRI to see what the update was for my knee since the last time that they did. And yeah, so there's two things that I already know. One, practically no cartilage with my kneecap is left, and I already knew that. It was deteriorating. It was starting to when I had the accident, had to have surgery. Because originally I dislocated my kneecaps, tore my inner meniscus, and then there was a cyst growing in the back of my knee, like literally the back and the back of my leg under my knee area. So I had to have, arthroscopic surgery, get that cleaned up. And they said that the meniscus is very frayed. The inner meniscus is very frayed. And those are two. So the practically no cartilage and inner meniscus being frayed are two things that I expected because the ortho who did the surgery when I was in the Navy in 2011, they highlighted that. It's in my record. It's been service connected. So I did do an intent to file with the Navy, well, not Navy, but like the VA, so that I can actually get, these like benefits for these. Like because yes, I'm going to be seen by the VA, but I might as well get it's service connected. It is a service connected disability, and I do still have issues. And I have been having these issues now for the past, like 15 something years. So like with this knee. Literally 15 years with this knee. But what's going on is that they highlighted that there's some bursitis as well under the kneecap. And I'm like, oh, great. So that's new. And then they're like, has anyone told you about your ACL? And I was like, oh no, what's going on with the ACL? And they're like, it is lit up like a beacon right now. It is super inflamed. It is really bad. I'm like, oh, so that might be part of the pain problem. That might be part of the reason that there's pain. So yeah. So next week, like literally the day after my birthday, I get to go to the VA and talk to an ortho surgeon to see what my options are because I've been having severe pain to the point where I had to put sometimes up to 2 lidocaine patches at a time on my knee just to get by. And they have me on new prescription because I was on my Loxicam and that was okay at first. That kind of helped a little bit with the ankle and foot pain. I needed something more. And I don't remember the name of it, but they got me something else, and I have to take pretty much the allotted amount of Tylenol every day just to get by. And even then, sometimes it's still it's messed up. And if the weather changes or shifts a new way, I get super aches and pains and stuff like that. And that's just in general. And I also have like lower back pain that's not doing well. I still have to address the whole sinus issues and then my wrists because I had like kind of arthritis and carpal tunnel issues when I was in the Navy. I mean, I was intel, I was a desk job. So I was staring at a computer and typing and doing stuff for like 12 to 16-hour shifts at a time. Easily. Just that's the beginning part easily. That's not including any kind of like events or any other things that would take longer than those usual 12 to 16 hours. So I mean it's like yeah. Yeah, that's I've got issues. So I'm trying to schedule those last two, but I got the main painful ones out of the way when it comes to the feet and the knee. Um Thankfully, which really sucks, but basically, thankfully my disability pay now for my tinnitus and my shoulder, finally I'm getting the full amount back because I don't know if they still do this, but back when I was discharging, um, in 2017, they force you to take a severance pay whenever you were discharging for medical reasons. And I was forced to take the allotted however amount because of my time of service. Now, because I discharged in the same month that like actually went to boot camp, they count that as a full 8 years because it was within that month. So like July of 2009 to July of 2017. So even if it wasn't the exact date, because it was within that month, they counted it as 8 years. And so for 8 years, I got like tens of thousands of dollars, but I was not allowed to refuse it. I was not allowed to try to pay it back in any other way. They would take it out of my disability pay each month. So I got barely anything each month for months. So finally it has all been paid back like 8 years later. But it was just ridiculous that I even had to go through that and not get the full amount. So now I'm getting the full amount of that. But should I get my feet and my knee attached to that, I will get more each month. But I am also looking, I mean, these are long-term issues. So I am also looking at, I will have to always have orthotics for my feet. I will always have to wear some sort of insole thing with slippers in the house. I will have to periodically go through physical therapy or do the physical therapy stuff, my homework at home for them to function without too much pain. That is something like I've been suffering for years, so finally I'm getting the help I need, but it's just this is going to be an ongoing thing that I have to deal with. The knee, I will find out next week what my options are. Do I have to have surgery again, or is there another option? I would prefer not to have to do surgery again, mainly because I don't have anyone to take the boys if like it's just me. So like I don't have any plans in place. Like I have to see if they're and steroid shots don't do anything for me. They just don't. They don't. There's barely any kind of like I did a steroid shot like last month when I was in such agony, 2 months ago actually. I had to go into like the 24-hour clinic, or was it 48? Whatever like pain clinic or whatever. I had to go in. I had to get like more patches and like, lidocaine patches and more medicine. And they did a steroid shot, which practically did nothing. So it did not help with the pain I was going through. It's barely manageable right now. So hopefully the surgeon will be able to tell me what I can do. I hope it's not surgery, but if it is, I'm going to have to start making plans to, have someone take the boys for a while so that I can try to, recover from that because I have to do what I have to do, but this is going to be an ongoing thing. This is going to be an ongoing thing. So that's something I've been dealing with lately. Um, there have been so many things going on in the world, and I'm so done dealing with certain people and certain groups and things like that. So I made it known online that I'm just like, I'm not And I'm just so fucking done. Like I was like, if you follow this group, if you listen to this music, if you whatever, don't ever talk to me again because I'm so done. Because people are showing more and more how much they simp for Trump and extreme transphobes like Elon Musk and JK Rowling. Like I just like so my 12-year-old went on a field trip with a school for some historical sites and he really liked it. I chose to take the day off, and 8-year-old and I just went and had some fun. And we even found a bookshop, like an independent bookshop that was close by that we didn't know existed. And we're like, this is close by. This is somewhere we can actually go to, right? Come to find out, as I'm leaving, did not see it before when I went in the back, there's like this corner area, whole bunch of Harry Potter merch, whole bunch of Harry Potter books and stuff. And I was like, as we're walking out and already bought books and stuff, and I was like, oh, because I did not explore the entire bookstore. Normally I would, because I love books. I will explore the entirety of every little nook, cranny, everything. I will explore. I want to see what everything is. I'm like that when I visit other cities and go to the library. I don't live in that city. I'm not going to get a book, but I want to see the library. That's literally like I am the kind of person that will explore bookshops and little like used bookstores and libraries and you know I will explore it all because it is books. I enjoy books. Like I have one day plans to visit other countries just to, go and visit and enjoy. I want to see their libraries. That is on my list. Like not just like street food because come on. I Restaurants are fine, especially mom and pop ones. I would love to see mom and pop ones, but street food, like I think that is really the core of any country's culture. Like street food is really in my eyes, street food is better than practically anything. Like I'm sorry, it's just mom and pop restaurants, great. Yes, I love that stuff. But street foods, like I really want to see street foods. I really want to enjoy street foods from whatever country I go to. Like I want to travel and go to other countries and stuff. I want to, just enjoy and learn more about the culture, but especially food and libraries. Like those are my two things. Like yes, I want to go to historical sites and yes, I want to learn more about the history of stuff because I love history. I love learning things. But food and libraries, like those are my two things. So I will literally I'm in the process of making a list. Like I'm talking like Italy and France and South Korea and Australia and the UK and like and Ireland. Like I'm making a list of each country and like different kinds of like street food or food stands or mom and pop shops, but also the libraries. I don't care if it's another language. I don't care. A book is a book and it must be cherished and must be like I will be in awe of it just because it exists. And I love that books exist in more than one language. That it's a must. It is a must. Okay, that is my that is my opinion. But I take it as like a universal fact that should be accepted is that books, reading material should be in every single language, obviously. But anyway, all that to say, normally I do explore every single place that has books. I did not. I was kind of physically exhausted. I was actually in a ton of pain for my knee and my foot. Even when I put like lidocaine patches on and I had tire balm and I took my medicine, everything, it was still hard. So I was tired and I just was not exploring as much. And so as I'm leaving when we already bought books, it's like damn it, I can't come back here because if you are a book chain, like a bookstore chain, I can get that there's not as much say in certain merch or certain books or whatever like being displayed or even in there. But if you are promoting yourself as an independent, as a fully independent bookshop where there are no other chains, no other locations, that is the one, you are the one that solely manages everything. you kind of get a choice in what you are putting in your bookshop. And so this place is promoted as the only one like of its independent kind of, bookshop. There's no other locations. This is it. So that is a choice. That is a choice that like they did have some good books, it looked like, on like civil rights and history of the US, like actual history, and books that, they had a decent collection of Toni Morrison, which I need to. I had one of hers like forever ago, and I don't know what happened to it, so I need to get more. And I was like, "Ooh, I did not end up getting Toni Morrison this trip." Oh, I will show you what I got. I had to get up, and I'm really ow. I'm like, I had to get up. So this is the book that I got. So I really want to read it. It's just the description itself. I was like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, it's so I'm definitely going to read this, but they had like some pretty good collection of books there from what I did see, but I was only in a couple different sections. There was a new investigators um kids graphic novel, so I got that for 12-year-old. 8-year-old wanted a One Piece manga, so I got him the One Piece manga. And I was like, this is like volume like 110. Why what you could start at the beginning. Is like, nope, this is the one I want. Because I already skimmed it and I saw this battle and I want to read that one. And I was like, okay. So, okay. Mind you, my 8-year-old has glimpsed Goosebumps and said they're not scary enough. I don't know. I don't know. In some things he's pretty fearless. But yeah, so we got the three items and we were leaving, and that's when I saw it and I was like, okay. I was pretty upset. Now there is another bookstore that I already knew about, I've been to and I was wanting to go to, but it's a bit further away. So because today I was kind of trying to stay more local, and so that's why I went searching and looking up like, oh, and it's not that I haven't looked up other bookstores that are closer by. It's just that where I'm at, there weren't as many LGBTQIA plus friendly locations, which is the bookstore that I had already been to and wanted to go to, but I was trying to keep it local. So I went to this one because it was recommended um online, but then seeing that I was like, so that's not really actually friendly for that community that I happen to actually be a part of. Yeah. So that's the thing too, is that I haven't really talked about that. I haven't really discussed that, like, oh, so I kind of realized I'm bi. Like it was kind of like a quiet thing. It was just like, oh, all these years wow, I really had that buried deep down. Mhm. So, okay. But once I kind of like processed it, I was like, "Oh, all right. This is comfortable. This is cool." But I didn't like make a huge deal of it. I didn't really be like, "Yo, world," because I'm not kind of like that. I'm not really like very outgoing like that. You want to, that's fine. I just happen to not be. Um, but I so it's kind of weird for me though, because like it's me showing support for the community while also being part of the community, but like never really considering myself part of the community until recently. And then realizing, part of the reason why I think I didn't feel part of the community, feel as part of the community, is because of the whole bi erasure thing that keeps happening. And it's like, oh, as I start to come into myself and be more comfortable with myself and what my, stuff is, it's realizing, this is partly the reason why I think it took me so long, is because of that. But I didn't like the fact that this one bookstore, this one bookshop, which is actually pretty small, um, promoted itself as friendly to that community, friendly to, a bunch of causes. But then you have stuff like Harry Potter, and I'm like, no, you're not actually. you're not actually because you can't have that community without trans. That's no. There is no any of that community without trans included. So just can't go back there. As we were leaving and I already had the books and I was in the car and I was just it took my brain a moment to process because I was so exhausted and I was still in a lot of pain, but I was like, that's a choice. I think it was as we were coming home that I was like, I didn't so I'm not going back there. And I did explain to 8-year-old, I was like, yeah, I know that that's close by and it's cool that they had some items, but we're not going back there. And I explained why. And he accepted. He was like, okay, cool. Like, all right, I understand. Because I'm pretty open with my kids about this stuff. Um, yeah. So it was a day. And this is pretty much my updated, like, this is how I'm doing, this is what's going on. Um, let's see. I've been I've been doing a lot of mutual aid. I've also been trying to research for upcoming elections in my state. Like general elections, assembly kind of stuff and district, like school district kind of stuff. So because I'm the kind of person that likes to research months in advance and pay attention because a lot of people don't think that, well, like some of that stuff matters, but it does, especially with what recently happened with that one law being completely dismantled. It's like, okay, okay, cool. So we're just going to do the whole gerrymandering thing up the wazoo. That's bad enough that they're just trying to get rid of voting for anyone who isn't white in the US and who isn't a man in the US. So it's bad. It's gotten pretty bad here. So you see why I'm starting to distance myself a lot from like certain groups, certain music, whatever, as soon as I find out. Because that's the thing is that I've also seen a lot of like purity test things where people are just like, "Oh, you didn't know about this already? People have already known for years." Like just because someone else knew about it for years doesn't mean that I did. Like there's some topics or certain music, groups or whatever that I just never knew about or but I think what matters that when you find out about something, that's how you react is what the important part is because not everyone's going to learn about something at the same time. That's just even with this whole information age, that's just reality. So I've been finding out like certain groups that they're really not that great or certain actors or certain whatever. So I've been distancing myself and just kind of cutting things out. Um yeah. So I also did a thing with the boys recently. Now, I'm not going to go into the gruesome part, the details, but when I got all my stuff back from storage, I happened to also get my Navy uniform stuff. But along with it was my wedding dress from my marriage to my ex-husband, the abusive one that you've heard about in other videos. So abusive, in fact, that there were times now. I will put in trigger warnings and I will rewatch this so I know the exact timing that it's mentioned that I start talking about this. But um, the whole rape academy being brought to light, I wouldn't be surprised if my ex-husband was an instructor for that. I'm not kidding. Because there were times in the Navy where if I was having such bad insomnia, like my night terrors and insomnia were so bad that I had to start sleep medication, but it drained me. I had chronic fatigue already. Finding out years later, of course, endometriosis and um, ovarian cyst bursting and a lot of bad stuff going on, right? That contributes to my chronic fatigue, which I still have. But I did sleep medication for a while and then I kind of weaned myself off of it. And I was like, okay, I can't, the exhaustion afterwards is just too much because I cannot function at work at all. But my ex-husband stole quite a bit of the sleep medication because it was really strong. And he would incorporate that into drinks or food or other things, and then he would do whatever he was going to do to me. And I knew my body felt messed up afterwards when I woke up. And unfortunately, I have gone through those kinds of situations, but drunk when I was younger. And so I was that same feeling waking up and knowing that something happened, knowing something is wrong, but not knowing who did it. In this case, there's only one person who could have done it, which was my ex-husband. But there was a time when he put my wedding dress on me, and there was like beading along the neck because there's like a halter top type. There's beading along the neck, and he pushed me down and it dug into my neck. There were indents on my neck that could only have been done by that. That was the only piece of clothing I had that could have been done with. And then later, when he was having one of his episodes, because he became a substance and alcoholic, he became a substance abuser, and became an alcoholic. And then he having his own combat PTSD and not being treated for it because he refused, and having his own hallucinations and other things, he bragged about the things I did. And then he started detailing what he did to me when I was asleep. So, yeah, I was definitely going to burn that dress. There's no donating or trying to, there's too much of a stain in terrible ways to that dress. So I cut up into little pieces. I got a fire resistant bucket and I burned it. I also got some pretty like colorful crystal things so that the fire can have like color in it. I didn't know that existed. That's pretty cool. Anyway, it turned into a family event because even if I did not tell the gruesome details to the boys, I did say that their father abused me when I was in that dress. And that's all I needed to say is I want to burn this article of clothing because of the things that your father did to me when I was in this. Didn't give him any details. Didn't tell them what I'm telling you right now. The fact that he raped me multiple times while I was sleeping and then while in that dress too. So I didn't tell them that part. But I did tell him, your father, I should say, not dad, but your father did terrible things to me in that dress. So I want to burn this. So they're just like, yeah, let's do it. And the color happening, I think, is also a little bit of like liberation for me because finding out towards the very end of my marriage to this man that he is supremely homophobic and transphobic. And I was like, oh, okay. Now, at that time, I had no idea that I really was bi, but he would have been pretty pissed. He would have been really upset. He was already pissed off that I existed in any capacity that was not in service to him. So there you go. But still, it felt kind of like liberating. Like, I am going to make these flames as colorful as possible as I burn this shit. So it was enjoyable. Recorded some of it, like pictures and stuff. Both boys enjoyed it. They helped me like toss in like pieces of my dress. And like bits of paper to keep the fire going. So, and I had a fire extinguisher. We had water, other stuff. It was outside, of course. We did it safely. It was contained, so no fire broke out. I think there was a lot of smoke, but it was also very windy too. So the boys had to like sit downwind, and I kind of like stayed a little bit close to the fire just to keep it, maintained. But yeah, so that was a fun event that we turned into a family thing. It was because it was on a weekend. I had no time to do it during the week. So of course, like my kids being there, they were going to be part of it. I'm like burping again. Sorry. I'm like really full. I ate out with 8-year-old today. We got breakfast at a little breakfast place that's nearby. We went and enjoyed some trampoline stuff. He got to jump around and run around with other kids. And then we had lunch at Chili's because there happens to be a Chili's nearby. Chili's is everywhere though. But anyway, and then yeah, I did nap a little bit before we went and got his brother from the field trip. But yeah, so it was an all-day thing. I am pretty tired. Still a little bit of pain, but not as bad as it was, but still. So yeah, it was a pretty good day overall though. Just wanted to kind of give that update, just life in general. Still kind of living life and getting through it, so I'm not, gonna have too many more of these videos, but I still wanted to, talk a little bit about and say like, hey, I'm still alive. So, and definitely gonna read this book. I'm probably gonna, it's not that big a book. It's really not that big a book. So I'm probably gonna finish it like tomorrow. I'm gonna start it tomorrow because it's late. I started getting ready for bed and I was like, I have all these thoughts in my head, so I'm just going to do a video and just talk about recent stuff so that I can quiet the thoughts in my head. Maybe I can sleep better because even though I'm exhausted, I whenever I get a thought in my head, and that thought just like it starts to just be insistent, and then unless I talk and get out other thoughts, it will not shut up. It doesn't matter what kind of medication I take. It's just I will be dealing with insomnia all night, and I do not want to do that. So that's why I did this. Um, and yeah, so I will post this tomorrow, but that's kind of recent events. Um, but yeah, like I'm not very active on threads as much as I was. It's just mostly because I'm just living life and I'm, or I'm just tired. But I will try to help people, get their posts seen if there's something like mutual aid or information or hey, block party for this, like this person who's posting like CSAM, like no, we can't be doing that. That's bad. Yeah. Or promoting like independent artists and stuff like that or independent authors. Um an author that I follow, she's fine. Well, they, oh, I have to go and check their bio. I apologize to the person in advance. It's because I think I'm going by what I knew before, but I think they're they. So I apologize. I think they're they. Um, but I knew them in high school. I went to high school with them and they're an author and I do buy their books. Now, don't always get around to reading them, but I always buy their books. So like I have them like favorited so that whenever a new book pops up from them, I buy it. I'm like, I'm getting that. I'm pre-ordering that, so I want to like support them as much as possible. So, but they're finally on threads. Like I haven't seen them much. I don't really talk to them much. Like even like I don't keep in contact with a lot of people I went to high school with. Not too many. Um there are some people that I still talk to in college, but there are a lot of people who haven't really talked to me or reached out to me either. Like I've got a bunch of stuff going on in my life and I'm a single parent, so it's like I kind of don't have as much time and I get it. They have life going on too, but it's just like I haven't heard from them in a while. So I might reach out to this author just because, yeah, like, hey, you're on threads. Yay. So we can talk to each other on here. I can promote your books on here. So, I mean, I do try to promote their books as much as possible. I like promoting indie authors. There are quite a few that I really enjoy. That I promote as much as possible that are pretty awesome. But anyway, so I'll go ahead and I will try to sleep now. I think I should be able to now that, oh, first yawn. First yawn is towards the end of the video. I think I'm making progress. Usually I'm yawning like at the very beginning, and then by the time I get to the end, I'm yawning a lot. And I'm like, ooh, customary yawn per video because I always yawn in almost pretty much every video. It's every video. But anyway. So I shall attempt sleep now. But yes, I'm alive. I'm doing good. Just chronically fatigued and dealing with other disabilities and stuff and just yay. That's kind of run of the mill for me though, isn't it? I think it is. Mm. Also, I don't know how this is possible because literally in the blink of an eye, my 12-year-old is now 5'3". I am 5'4". He is an inch shorter than me. He's going to be taller than me by his next birthday. Holy fuck. And he's like 80 something pounds. He's like almost 90 pounds. He is tall and lean. he's put on some weight, like, which is good. But I mean, like, he's tall and lean. And then 8-year-old, he's like 50 inches and like 60 pounds. Like he's just a solid, like, very athletic kid. He's also been really getting into soccer. He doesn't want to play the sport like on an actual team, like for the school or anything. He doesn't want to like actually do sports, but he enjoys it, when he plays during recess and stuff, or like PE or whatever. Um, he's been really doing well with being a goalie. He likes being the goalie, and I'm like, yes, I was a really good goalie when I did soccer when I was a kid. And baseball, I really enjoyed baseball too when I was a kid. But he's really him and 12-year-old have both gotten into like basketball recently. Just like whenever we go to one of the 3 or 4 parks that we go to that we frequent, um, like we will bring a basketball so they can play. Of course, 12-year-old enjoys it because he's taller. Um, but man, my 8-year-old's gotten really fast. He's a speed demon. He's gone really fast. So both of them are doing well. They're healthy, caught up on everything. Um, you know, they eat very, very well. Um, but I eat pretty well too, though. Like, so I've shown them, I'm like, yeah, I've got a pretty big appetite as well. So yeah, it's yeah, they definitely get that for me. Like that, I was super into food even as a kid. I love food so much, and I still love food. So you know what the cool thing is that even though there are certain textures, certain flavors, whatever that we are super like, adamant about, because I love food and trying things so much, they do that as well. So they've kind of taken after me in that. So they have like, but then they know if they do not like something or not. But 12-year-old is definitely taken after me when it comes to sushi. He loves sushi. They both love ramen and ramyun, and they both love that. But like 12-year-old and I are like kindred spirits when it comes to sushi and when it comes to like um just like Asian cuisine kind of stuff. Now, 8-year-old, not so much. He cannot stand sushi. The smell of it even. He absolutely despises like avocado. He cannot stand guacamole at all. So 12-year-old and I are like that. So there's certain like foods and stuff that 8-year-old is just like, nope, never. I'm kind of like that too. But they're willing to try certain things at least once. And then if they don't want to ever again, that's fine. And I let it go. I let it go. If it like I will budget on purpose if it's something that they are trying that I happen to like, so I could eat the rest of it if they don't like it. But if it's not something that I tend to like, I will budget on purpose for them to try it if they want to try it, because I want them to try new things. I want them to try different kinds of foods. Like there's also like a Mexican bakery that we discovered that's nearby. Um and they really enjoy that bakery. They love all the pastries and stuff, and I tried their tacos. It's so good. It's so delicious. They're like they weren't the biggest fan because it was very spicy. Like just the base was too spicy for them. I'm more the spicy flavored person. But still. Anyway, so it's fun to see that. It's fun to see that kind of progress with my kids, but it's also like, oh my God, why are they why? 12-year-old likes to tease me so much. Like we have this goofy dynamic where he likes to tease me like, "Mother, I am growing a mustache," and he gets all dramatic about it. I'm like, "No, no, no, we're not going to talk about you. No, no, no mustache, no, because you can't be growing up. You can't be. No, you're my little baby boy. Why you? No, stop this." And he'll get like super dramatic. "Mother, I have a mustache," and I'm like, "No, child of mine, don't talk to me about that." And we just laugh about it afterwards. Like we do this whole dramatic thing. 8-year-old loves trying different accents and trying to like be dramatic when he reads in school, which is funny because they both have said they will never get into theater because they do not like being in front of people, which valid, but they have such character and they love being very invested in whatever and whatever kind of persona that they are like, doing in front of their friends and teachers. So it's like I can see them getting into theater one day. I can see them doing that kind of stuff one day because they draw a crowd, they're charismatic, they get really into the role that they're doing. Um and they're just very they have that oomph. And so I'm just like, even though they're saying that they don't want to because they have stage fright, they're terrified of being in front of people. I can see that being something that they would enjoy one day. Or music. I mean, 12-year-old kind of likes the guitar. He still has a guitar, excuse me, burp, that he's still playing sometimes, but I don't know if he'll actually like, become a musician or whatever. It is something that my dad got him for his birthday like a couple years back. And so like it was something that he went for guitar lessons briefly. And if he practices it, he's pretty decent at it. So even though I don't know if he's actually practicing as much as I think like he would, I did get him this there's a musical book that had like guitar stuff and musical notes in it. And so I got that for him. Now, I say got, but really it happened to be in one of those outdoor libraries, where you can like leave a book, take a book, whatever. That's where all of our books go whenever we're donating. We give it to that outdoor library. And so there happened to be a book about guitars with a bunch of musical notes and instructions and different things that you can practice. So I got that for him. So he really loved that. And then there was something about art and photography that he really loves. So we'll see. Oh, by the way, before I end this, for his field trip, I happened to give him a disposable camera. If you know, you know. If you're old enough, you know. Like disposable cameras were our way of like taking pictures because like we couldn't, like not every one of us could afford one of those really nice digital or even just regular film cameras. I even had a Polaroid, the Polaroid camera, as a young kid because my dad was, pretty well off at that time. So, I mean, he could afford to get one. But over the years, it was just cheaper to have a disposable camera and go to your local, like, Rite Aid or whatever to get, it developed. This was gifted to me when my youngest was born. It was supposed to be like a big brother, like looking out for little brother and like taking pictures. But I put it away and I forgot about it. And then I found it this last weekend. I was like, "You're going on this school trip. You could take pictures with your friends and stuff." I showed him how to use it. He forgot that you have to wind it to take the next picture. So he only took like 3 pictures and then promptly forgot that you have to wind it. And none of his teachers told him to do that. So I'm like, and he said it's archaic tech. And I'm like, no. Like, even if you're born in like the late 90s, you know what a disposable camera is because it was still around for the good like 20 like early 2000s and 2010. Like it's still around, but I mean, it was still pretty prominent back then too. But no, disposable camera is now archaic tech to my 12-year-old. That apparently I'm very old at being 40. 40 is not old. 40 is not old. These kids, I swear. Anyway, I'll talk to you when I talk to you. Bye.